Hi, this is Tapcat and welcome to Factorio. This has been in early access for several years, but just recently graduated to a full release. Apparently, the developer asked their community for the names of YouTube creators that they wanted to see play Factorio, and my name was among those submitted. No accounting for taste. I do want to acknowledge up front, I received a free copy of the game, but they never even asked me if I intended to produce any videos, let alone try to exercise any control over what I might say if I did. I will tell you though, I've spent about 5 hours in the game so far. That's after spending a couple of hours on a free demo that's available on Steam, and I've really enjoyed myself. So I thought we would spend a little time exploring it together. Let's go ahead and start a new game. There's a tutorial you can play through, and there are also a number of scenarios with specific goals as well. I assume that this tutorial is the same as the one that makes up the demo, and I thought that did a good job of teaching the basics of the game. The one thing that I didn't care for in the demo is that I would get attacked periodically by creatures that were essentially giant cockroaches. While there's no way I know of to turn it off in the demo, the good news is that when starting a new game here, it gives us a whole range of options to customize the game, and I am more than happy to take advantage of that. What we're going to do is tinker with this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and crank the richness up a bit on each resource, and we'll leave the rest as it is. I mentioned that I didn't really care for fighting in the game, so we're going to turn that off completely. Really, the experience I'm looking for is to explore how to make the automation processes work and just trying to gain a basic understanding of that. And as you'll see, that is quite complex. There's a lot to even absorb to play this game. I am still in my infancy when it comes to understanding it. And of course, people who have been playing early access for months and months are way farther up that learning curve. Another feature that's nice is they do show you the seed number for the map, so you can share it with friends or try the same seed you see me or someone else play if you want to. And now we're just going to take what the RNG gives us. I will say though that even in the handful of maps I've seen so far, there's been quite a bit of variation. So if you're really unhappy with the map you get, it's probably worth just starting again to see if you're happier with a different seed. I'm sure you can do fine with any of them, but at any rate, this is a very, very minor cutscene you get at the beginning. And basically all it tells you is, you've crash landed on this planet, and now our long-term goal is to build a new rocket to go back to space. There's a number of tips here. I'm not going to cycle through all of them. There's about a dozen. If you are new to the game, I highly recommend it. It's a great way to get started. Now, before I move too far, before I do anything rather, let's take a look. We have copper deposit down here. We have iron ore. What I do not see is coal. We have a little stone over that way. Oh, please let there be coal somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. Before we do anything else, we're going to spend some time cleaning up the crash site. These parts, you can see, they actually have bits and pieces in them. Now, having done that, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up. Okay, that one I can't do anything with. You don't get resources from cleaning it off of the ground, but what it does do is allow you to build there. And I just want to make sure I don't recognize by sight the ones that have these resources versus the ones that don't. Now, I should explain, I have picked up iron plates. And when we play Factorio, this is a game, how can I describe it? You harvest resources and you'll refine or process them in some way. Sometimes there could be multiple steps. So for example, if you have iron ore, you refine that into iron plates. Iron plates, in turn, can be turned into iron gears, or it can be turned into steel a little later in the game. All kinds of things like that. And as you saw, we found stone, we found copper. All of these things need to be used for a variety of things, to make a variety of things is what I meant to say. All right, so we cleaned up the spaceship. Now that is not, okay, that's not stone we can harvest, but this coal we can. Now, this is where the game gets funny, and I'll just start off like this. So if you want to gather coal, you just right click on that tile, and yay, we're mining coal. But here's the problem. I would have to gather, to do anything, a fair amount of coal. And then I would have to go gather some stone and gather some iron and gather some copper. And then I would very quickly use that up. And then I would have to gather more of all of them. And as you can see, it takes a little while, right? I've been mining this iron for, I don't know, a minute or so at least. I don't even have 10 yet. I'm about to hit 10. I'm going to come over and grab a little copper too. I literally want to get to 10 of each just to kind of, get enough to prime the pump if I can. So, kind of the whole nature of this game, in a nutshell, I would say, is there's all these things you need to get done. And doing it manually is not practical. Forget whether you're just too lazy to grind it out or something like that. No. Okay, I'm going to come over here and just grab a little bit of stone. Yeah, it's just simply not something you can realistically do because there's too much that you have to get done. All right, I'm going to leave the stone over there alone. Now, so what we need to do is automate gathering resources and automate building things that we need. And this is all stuff we're going to do in baby steps. Now we start off with one drill already, and it is what's called a burner. So it runs on fuel such as coal. I believe it would also run on wood, but we're not going to do that. So if I put this down here, it will harvest coal. Now, I'm going to make a simple wooden chest, but I need more wood to do that. I have basically none. Now, unfortunately for me, night has fallen, which makes it very difficult to even see. Okay, here's some trees. And since they aren't super close to camp, I'm not going to go hog wild, but we are going to just grab, a little bit of wood here. So we're going to chop down a few trees. I have 29. Let's go ahead and just harvest a couple more. All right, we're over 40. I'm prepared to call that good. Now you'll use wood for a number of things, including making electric poles, if you can believe that. All right, so now we're going to come back. See, I could make 20 wooden chests, but I am content with one. And this is about as simple a setup as we can get. You see this little arrow coming out of the miner? So we're going to put the box right there. And what that means is as we mine, it is going to deposit the product from that into the box, and the box will hold it. Now I gathered 9 charcoal myself, or excuse me, coal. We're going to put it in, and now you can see it's just going to run. Now, I understand you can say, but you're burning coal to get coal. Yes, but look how long it takes to burn just one of my coal. And meanwhile, every time that green bar fills, I'm getting a new one. So it is a net gain. Now, as we move along, what we're going to do is we're going to use the coal that we gather, not just to power this and get more coal, but, for example, we also have in our starting inventory a furnace. So this, likewise, we put coal in the fuel section, and as you can see there, you can put wood in, you can put other things that we don't even have access to yet in here. And then here, we're going to put the resource that we gather. So for example, I can put iron ore there. And if I come here and just grab the little bit of coal that we've already harvested, now I'm going to start gathering iron ore. And I'm going to get more iron plates. Because believe me when I say 8 is not going to get it done. It is breathtaking how many resources you burn through in this game. And I mean hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of iron plates, excuse me. And realistically, I don't even know how many thousands or tens of thousands by the end of the game. It's a lot. Let's just leave it at that. And again, like, once you have iron plates, you can actually make, like, see, we have certain recipes already. So I can make an iron gear wheel, one wheel out of 2 iron plates. And it's quick. It's only a half second for each one that I make. Likewise, if I had a copper plate, which we will make, by the way, I can make copper cable out of that. The problem is, again, the number of things that you need for all these different categories, it is just not even remotely practical for you to do that on your own. You know, you have to utilize these machines. Now, we have one miner going full bore on getting us coal. And that's great, because we need coal. But coal isn't all we need. We're going to need iron, and we're going to need copper. What does that mean in practical terms? It means we need to build more mining equipment. Now, I am currently using a burner, but that's not the only possible way to go. You can get electrical power from water. Later, you can get it other ways. Unfortunately, our resources are not close to this. So for the moment, we're going to rely on coal primarily. That's a little unfortunate, but oh well. So I won't worry about building an electric mining drill at this time. We will build one of these. Now, if you look at the ingredients, it wants iron plates, it wants iron gear wheels, and it wants a stone furnace. One thing that's really cool about Factorio, at least in my book, the game does not force me to build iron gear wheels and then build a stone furnace and so on. If I click on this, it will automatically queue up, if you look down here, each of the components, and then now that I have them, it starts working on the drill. So we are going to come and place that right here. And then we need to put this in. Now, before I do that, let me make a box. And we're going to place it right there, same as the other one. Now, I cannot stress enough what a crude setup this is. This is just, we're trying to get some bare minimum resources. Later, you'll make something far more complicated. Okay, so hold on. Let's throw some more coal in there. Now, in fact, this is a good example. See how this ran out and then I had to come running over. part of your goal, part of what you're ultimately trying to get to are self-sustaining systems. So for example, if I had electricity coming in from the water or anywhere else, and I had an electric miner, it will never stop as long as it's getting electricity. And then if other things rely on the coal, you can have like conveyor belts and things like that that move the coal to those things. And in addition to conveyor belts, you have these arms they call inserters. They're kind of like robot arms. We'll get to that later. All right, so I got some copper plates out of this. And I guess for the moment, that's all we needed to use the furnace for. I could use it for some other stuff, but we are going to sit tight on that. Now, what I would like to do is make another miner because I want to start getting copper in greater numbers. Because we're going to be really limited in what we can do. So, now that I have one, this should seem very familiar. Let's go ahead and make another box. And we're going to throw a little bit of coal in here. And we'll let it mine. All right. So, let me do that because now we have a bit of iron. So see again how I have to run around and, gather these different things. That's fine right now because we have so little going on. We have to bootstrap our way up. But as we get more and more things running, you will not be able to keep up. And so what happens is you just have stuff sitting idle and nothing is happening. All right. So now we're getting some more iron plates because I'm out. Like if I need to build another miner or anything, can't. Too bad. And ultimately we do want to do that because what I want to be able to do is build an offshore pump. So this is the first step of getting electric power. And then we need a boiler. So yeah, a boiler and a steam engine both. We need all this. So it's a whole thing. The other thing I need to do? I need to worry about finding stone. Now this is interesting. Okay. I don't know if I could put a miner on this. No. No, I get to harvest it one time. It's like the others. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because we are going to need more furnaces. There's no question about that. Oh, okay. This is actually more like the other, I guess. Okay. That's really weird. Oh, I'm getting iron ore, not stone. So this stone is just... I don't even know how to say it. It's just cosmetic, basically. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and grab some copper now. And again, I'm just trying to get a bare bones thing. Realistically, we're probably not going to want just one stone furnace. So let's go ahead. Here's where, again, like you just start getting more stuff. So what we'll do is put plenty of fuel in. And then, let me see. I just left this in here kind of foolishly. I wanted it all in one place. So we put the copper in here. I'm doing this backwards. I feel like I probably should have the copper in the one. Yeah, let's do this. It feels really silly to not have the copper in the one that's closest to copper. It'll help me remember better for sure. All right, so now we have two. This is out of coal again. So realistically, what we're going to want to do is start automating these processes. Start automating it so that I automatically feed what comes out of here into here. Well, out of at least the iron and copper into a furnace. And later there can be very complex systems for doing that. But what we're going to do is make it really simple. So let me go ahead and pick this up. And we're going to set it down one spot farther out. And we're going to make a burner inserter. Now, we want the arrow facing towards what it's going to be putting it into. But you know what? I just realized I need one more space here. Okay, I believe that is correct. And then that arrow is pointing toward the box, which is what we want. And then we need the blank space because that's where the miner sets the ore once it's mined it. And so you can see the arm is automatically putting it in there, which is great. And then what we're going to do is pick this up. Okay, yep. This is where things get cute. This is why electricity is good, by the way, because when you coal power everything, it's way more work to then like have another arm to feed this arm and stuff. It's not practical to automate absolutely everything. Electricity makes that more possible. But what I want to do is at least start fleshing out a structure for it, a very simple one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a second arm down. So let me make that. And then let's make two more. And I'm going to put that here. And then we're going to put the furnace down here. And I need some coal. All right. And because we're short on coal, I'm just going to put half of it in. So now, other than filling these with coal, as far as processing, first mining and then processing the iron, I'm good. It's automatically going to feed it in here. So that's obviously very helpful. Now, all of this can be automated more. For example, I can find a way to bring coal to this furnace. And if you're going to pick and choose what to automate when it comes to delivering coal, by the way, if I put 50 coal in here, it'll last a really long time. Inserters tend to use it very slowly, but the furnaces go through it significantly faster. Let me go ahead and take what I've made so far. So let's do something similar over here. And actually, let me grab whatever coal I've managed. Realistically, here's the thing. Coal is clearly one of our choke points right now. So what we want to do, we're always looking for, you know, what are the things that are holding me back? And then let's get rid of that bottleneck. So I'm going to build a second mining machine, for lack of a better term. Although I have no doubt there is one. Yeah, man, I need more. And we're going to put some coal in this to kind of prime the pump. So we don't have a lot right now, admittedly, but with two, it'll definitely help. Let's go ahead and pick this up. And now what we want to do is we're going to put these two arms to work. Before I do that, let's pick this up. Put the box here, that's fine. Honestly, you know what? You don't need a box there. The arm will take care of that. All we need is give it one space. So we'll put the arm here, put the box there, and now it can just go. But it is, again, going to need a little bit of fuel. All right. Now, we have the box. We need the furnace, which also needs some love. And then we just take that other arm, and there you go. Now it'll feed it, and we'll get a bunch of copper plates. And I guess just so that I don't kind of disrupt the thing, I'm just going to drop this in here. All right. So I do need to put some coal in that arm. Hold on. Let me just go grab some. Yep. It's kind of annoying until you get this stuff. Wait, that's the wrong one, isn't it? Yes. Maybe I should go to the one with the little flashing icon. There. All right. So, why is this stopped? Because, again, this is out of coal. So you can see what I'm saying. Coal is really our #1 issue right now. Let me do the same thing. Let me just drop this in the box. How am I doing on coal here? Yeah, we're really low. So if anything, I may literally add a third mining piece over here for that. All right. But in the meantime, let's put a good chunk in there. How am I over here? Yeah. All right. So we have to worry about the furnaces and the inserters, but at least in terms of the mining machines, we're okay for the moment. And this furnace has a decent amount. So I think I am going to go ahead and get a third one going, and then I'm going to chill out. And the reason I am is because I don't really want to keep making burners. I want to start figuring out how we're going to do this. Just gathering steel plates and stuff, we don't need anywhere near this much to build burning stuff. We're interested in getting the electricity up and going. So, all right. But if nothing else, you know, you have to start somewhere. That is just a fact. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and just... All right. And you don't have to walk right up to something to open it, but you do have to be in the general vicinity, FYI. All right, so now we have 3, and that will help. And having done that, how are we doing with these different things? Yeah, let me drop a little more there. Okay. All right. At this point, I think we can let the setup run for a few minutes more or less on autopilot and start thinking about what we're going to do to set up electric power. Once we have that, we can start setting up laboratories and researching new technologies, among other things. But I'm going to let this run off camera until I have a few hundred or so of each of the resources, and then we'll pick it up from there in our next installment. I'm not sure how many of these episodes we're going to do, but I would like to at least showcase a decent amount of the early game as long as there's interest in seeing it. So if you would like to see more, go ahead and show you care by giving the like button a gentle caress. That's going to do it for now. Thanks for watching. I hope we see you next time.